So sorry for bringing you down. Let's let's read some chapters of the book. All right. Create perspective by creating mental distance. So we encourage a relaxed, proactive mindset in ourselves by refusing to let complaining, reactivity, and daydreaming get in the way of what matters most. Taking action toward our goals. Okay. Get in the way of what matters most. Taking action toward our goals. So that's the thing that matters most. There is another key way in which a calm and relaxed attitude goes hand in hand with the right psychological perspective. It's mental distance. In the above section on proactiveness, we saw that being able to choose and to take control can only actually happen when we are sufficiently aware of what we're doing. We are lost in emotions, triggered, and stuck in knee jerk automatic reactions. Then we are reactive. To be proactive, we need a little space from that engulfing emotion. We need to take a step back, and from there, a clear picture. And from there, gain a clear picture of what we're doing, what our options are, and what to do next. Anxious is equals to trapped or bogged down in strong emotion. Calm is equivalent to able to step above and outside of that emotion. In fact, you could almost say that the degree of anxiety you experience around an issue is directly proportional to how close you are to it. Stepping outside of yourself and your emotions for a moment and taking a look at the issue from a distance can not only help you solve the problem, it can make the whole thing seem less of an emergency. Then once you're calm, you can take more relaxed, conscious action instead of being reactive. Great. So how do we create this sense of psychological distance? Does this mean numbing ourselves out to emotion or getting all cold and clinical on our lives as we look down at everything from the clouds? Thankfully, no. Instros- no, sorry. Introspection is not mind chatter. Before we go on, it's worth noting that psychological distance. What the fuck? Sorry. Before we go on, it's worth noting what psychological distance isn't. Okay. Our inner voice can be a great ally, helping us analyze, reflect, weigh options, interpret, remember, and plan. But I probably don't need to tell you that not all self talk is beneficial. Mental chatter is useless and simply creates more anxiety. You'll know it's mental chatter when, first, it goes round and round in a loop that never stops. 2. It's often negative and pessimistic. 3. It prevents you from solving problems rather than helps you. 4. It makes you feel distracted and disconnected. 5. It's based in the past or future and not the present. Last one, most crucially, it increases anxiety while decreasing beneficial action. Reading the above list, you can probably see that the experience of anxiety and the action of negative self-talk are essentially one and the same. Many of us attempt to gain psychological distance only to find we are doing more. We are doing more of the same mental chatter. That only makes us anxious. So let's now turn to another question. What we are attempting to distance from. Mental chatter, anxiety, and a loss of conscious awareness. And a loss of conscious awareness can swallow up our feeling of self control and agency. The more unaware we are of what is happening to us, the less we are able to take charge of the situation, i.e., we can only be reactive and not proactive. Mental distance is one way we can separate ourselves from strong emotions and the content of our mental chatter. So, sorry, I'm gonna read that again. Mental distance is one way we can separate ourselves from strong emotions and the content of our mental chatter. So we can begin to ask, wait a second, what is this? What am I doing here? Without mental distance, we just take our own narratives as gospel and fail to see any way out. On the one hand, we have anxiety, narrowing of awareness, loss of agency. On the other hand, we have calmness, broadening of awareness, control, and responsibility. Panic and fear shrink. Panic and fear shrink our perspective and rob us of the ability to choose the best for ourselves. Whereas conscious awareness opens our field of view and lets us make healthier choices. Sounds great, but the trouble is, of course, to find a way into that awareness and broadness of vision when you're stuck in the middle of an intense emotion. Not easy to do. In fact, you've probably noticed that it's much easier to see other people's blind spots than it is your own. You have distance and perspective. They are too close to see what you can see. Thankfully, it is possible to learn to create mental distance in ourselves, even in the midst of moments that have us losing our heads. I'm gonna stop there for now. So yeah, when we're dealing with something difficult, we really need to pause for a second to stop what we're doing and just move away from that situation, even just for a moment. It's not running away from it. It's not being a coward. It's just taking a step back, having perspective, just looking at it uh, in a broader perspective. When you're trying to solve a puzzle, like those jigsaw puzzles, when you're too close, sometimes you're moving the wrong pieces. That's why you need to move back a little and the look at the whole picture. That's when you can make better decisions. Because you're away from the puzzle, you can see almost everything. So like when you're too close from a situation where it triggers you or it makes you angry, you just have to step back. You have to think, why am I angry? What happened? Who am I with? Who am I talking to? Like, is this something worth getting angry about? Or if it is something worth getting angry about, is this the right decision for me to just let all my rage out, cry, or something? Is it the right move? Yeah, you can really do this almost every time you're in an uncomfortable situation, especially when your emotions are high. Even if it's not just anger, even if it is also sadness and anxiety, of course. You just have to move a little. You know, I just did this actually. I was playing Dota 2, and yeah, they were flaming. I haven't played in a while, and actually just made a small mistake, and my teammates made a lot of mistakes, but I never said anything about it. Then I made that one mistake, and they were all flaming. I just said, "Hey man, you guys are so salty. That mistake didn't really change anything. We're still losing. We were losing uh 15 20 minutes ago. We're not gonna win just because just because I made that mistake doesn't mean that's the reason we are losing. That we were already losing." Yeah, and some of them didn't really react to that because I think they know, yeah, he's right, I'm right, and others were like, "No, man, like, what the fuck was that?" All right, you're already losing, man. Just relax. And I thought to myself, why am I even talking to them? It's Dota 2, man. You don't talk to players like that. We just let them be, man. Clearly, they don't have anything worth doing instead of playing that game. So I played another one, another loss, and this time they were flaming our carry. I wasn't the carry. I'm just an offlaner. They were flaming our carry. Everyone was flaming our carry, except me. I was just like, dude, just give him time. Let him farm or do something, man. Um, Nothing's gonna change if we flame him. It's not like, oh, I'm getting flamed. I must. I'm gonna use this as power to get better. This flame equates to being better in this game. Like, no, man. It's negativity. Most of the time, people perform better when there's positive reinforcements. Mistakes are there, man. Mistakes are always gonna be there. So yeah, whenever that kind of shit happens, just take a step back. I can also do an analogy in basketball. When a defender or even two defenders are hounding you, take a step back, man. Take a step back. If it's just one defender and you created space by taking a step back, you can shoot a three, or you can pass it to open teammates. You can make a play, especially when it's a double team. Take a step back, pass it to an open teammate. So yeah, taking a step back is a powerful tool in Dota, in basketball, and in life. Sometimes we just really need to catch ourselves before we get angry or while getting angry. The more we are calm, the better we make decisions. And oh man, construction people are already continuing their jobs, so I hope this will not ruin the audio. My audio already sucks, by the way. I know that. I don't have much money to buy one of those high-end microphones. I have a good one, kind of cheap, but it's not that cheap. It's it's actually good. Well, I'm still starting as a YouTuber. Hopefully, maybe one day. So yeah, that's it. Take a step back, be calm, and don't forget to always think before you make decisions. So yeah, I just want to talk about it. That's it. Bye.